Good morning! Hello and welcome. How on earth are you getting on today? Oh, you are in for such a treat today. You really are. If we've not met before, hi, my name's Rebecca Redican, and trust me, today, if you love launch parties, whoop whoop, if you also love crafting along, if you love discounts, if you love treats, if you love things you might not have seen before, you are absolutely in the right place, because we have totally and absolutely got you covered. I do want to let you know, now is the perfect time to head on over to our website, because you will be able to see that in some places we have got up to 75% off. This is our summer season. Honestly, the 40-minute team meeting to come up with that name was just so well spent. Summer season, we have got loads of festive treats up to 75% off. So if you're getting ahead of the game, you don't want that last minute rush in November where you think, I haven't done any of my Christmas crafts, grab them now whilst they're on discount, and then you can start crafting whenever you feel like it. We have got that for you today. We have also got for you some fabulous inspiration and some wonderful demos from our just about to introduce, that's so typical. No, it's me. I think I brought that on by suggesting you. We have got the fabulous Jan!
Jan and her cough is back, honestly.
Oh, no.
Do you know, I've had this cough for 8 weeks, Becky, and it will not go away. It will not leave me alone.
Oh, bless you.
So yeah, every now and again, it just takes me by surprise, and that was just ridiculous timing, wasn't it? So yeah, I think it's gone. I've got rid of it again now. So yes,
what have we got,
great
Jan?
to be back. Do you know, we've got some fabulous products on the show. It's been, do you know, sometimes we spend a lot of time prepping for the shows, obviously, and some things, you know, you enjoy more than others. There's some things that appeal to you and some things that are maybe not what you would normally buy, but all the products today, love all of them. So I've got some little bits to show you, just to give you an idea of what we've coming up. So the first collection this morning is that beautiful dancing dragonflies. Now this launched a little while ago. If you haven't bought into this yet, we've got a fantastic offer on again today for you. But just to sort of show you some examples, it's got a lovely purple, blue, turquoisey sort of theme running through it, and you've got everything that you would expect from a Sarah signature collection there. So again, that lovely little bridge in there is gorgeous, just for bridging those cards, really nice. And then we've got embossing folders in there, we've got stamps to make the little water lilies, we've got the border dies. I'm going to use the border and the stamp, the flowers in our first demonstration. So that's the Dancing Dragonflies collection. We've also got, now I launched these on our TV channel last week, and these went really well, but we've got those beautiful framed floral creator cards, and this comes with a lovely little watercolour paper pad that's been designed specifically to pop behind those die cuts. So I will talk you through that in a bit more detail when we do the demoing, but that's the poppies. We've also got that lovely dahlia, and again, just by filling in with a little bit of our sparkle pen, you've got a nice shimmer over that background paper there. And then again, we've got traditional roses. So you've got 3 different flowers to choose from. We've popped them in a bundle today with the paper pad, again, very affordable. And then the third one, again, if you love your flowers, my goodness, this one was fun to play with. And I was talking to our producer, Erin, before the show. I says, I'm not particularly a yellow person. I wouldn't wear yellow very often, but I've loved playing with it. You all know that I love my pink. And it's been nice to do something different. So yeah, playing with those lovely rich yellow tones in the sunflowers has been absolutely gorgeous. So we've got demos coming up with that as well. Look at that embossing folder in there. You don't need to do much more than add a little bit of colour. This has all been done with an embossing folder and then the colour laid over the top of it. Absolutely. And this one was just a bit of a showstopper. I had to pick this one out. Just look at all those beautiful flowers. So you can actually make these in cardstock, or the collection even includes the flower forming foam. So if you like making your flowers using the foam and the heat technique, again, these are absolutely beautiful. So yeah, really, really nice. And then later on in the day, I was really excited when I saw this on the calendar, Becky, that I was going to do the craft along with the dancing dragonfly. So this is actually what we're going to be making at 2 o'clock. Now, don't worry if you don't have the frame, all right? I popped it in the frame because I have several of these at home waiting to be decorated. If you don't have the frame, you can still make the insides and actually make it as a hanging plaque, and I'll go through all that at 2 o'clock for you this afternoon. So we're going to just pop you the sort of the list of things that you will need, just in case you want to get ready ahead of time. So we've got plenty of bits and pieces on there for you to have a look through, and I've listed everything that I used, and then I put on the bottom that the frame was optional for you to use if you wished. So yeah, fantastic. I'm loving this, Becky. I can't wait to get started today.
I know, there is absolutely oodles on. So everything on your screen now, make sure you get it together so that you can join in with our craft along later on. It's 2 p.m. UK time, 9 a.m. or 6 a.m. dependent where you are in the world. If you do want to seize the moment, then absolutely, most certainly do. Up and also, speaking of seizing the moment, did you know it's National Selfie Day today? Yeah, National Selfie Day. So feel free to strike a pose and do a little bit of a selfie, why not? Why don't you take a picture of you watching us on your tablet or on your telly, however you're doing it, and then send in a group shot. Do feel free just to even share it just on our socials if you so wish, and let people know how you're watching us and what you're up to today. Our socials, you can get involved in loads of different ways, Facebook, YouTube, and it's Grace looking after you today, our social superstar. Hello, Grace. So I have got for you the Dragonfly collection, and this collection, if you've not managed to get your hands on it before, it is lavish. It feels luxurious and it is absolutely jam-packed full. Just to give you an idea, I have got an absolute stash of goodies here in front of me. Now, we are going to be demoing with this, and this will be the craft along today. So if you have just seen, for example, lovely Jan's make, and you think, oh, I'd love to make that in the future, purchase this now, and don't forget you can watch back at the craft along later on at your leisure, maybe when you get these delivered. So I've got loads of embellishments here. I'll go through all of these really well with you later on, but I've got loads of dies in here, including sentiment dies. I've got that bridge, very sort of Claude Monet, isn't it? I've got for you some more florals, different styles of frames and dragonflies within this too, as well as dragonflies that lay over and work beautifully with your stencils. I am bringing to you stamp and dies that you can layer up so you can create almost 3D form effects. Loads of stamps for so many different occasions, including the likes of birthday wishes and dream big. I've got embossing folder for you here. And then we've got all of the paper pads, and the paper pads include treasures such as your foiled card. These are going to make you smile from ear to ear. I've got pearlescent cards in here, and I'm also bringing your 12 by 12 too. And the 12 by 12, as you will see, has got the wonderful themes running through it. Double-sided, so loads of inspiration in here, and a fantastic lavish colour palette, which I think will take you through each season. So all of that today, every single one of those items, you are getting for just £116.13 or $150.15. So this really is a special time to grab it. If you do want to grab it, seize the moment now, and whilst you do, should we get a little bit of inspiration? Jan, what are we making?
Right, we're going to start off and use some of the elements from that collection. So I've actually taken out the water lily border die, and we're going to actually cut this into the fold back on the card. And then I'm just going to spend a little time with the stamp and die set, which creates those gorgeous little water lilies. Now, it's designed as a water lily, but obviously you can make this into any flower. If you use the little lily pad with it, you've got that water lily effect. But this, I think, would make a flower of any description, as you'll see when we come to it. So I'm just going to pop the stamps to one side and start with the actual border die there. Oh, can't get in that one. That one's not been opened. There we go. I pulled the one out of the box, and there we go. So yeah, this one's just just a smidge over 6 inches long, and I say a smidge, it really is. And then you've got that beautiful water lily effect cut in to the die, but no die cutting edge on this side. So that means that it's going to stay attached to your piece of card. Now, if you wanted to add it on as a topper, just pop it in your guillotine and you could easily cut this side to make it a separate piece. But we're actually going to do exactly what it says there, and we're going to pop it on the edge of our card. Now, I can never get these. The tape on here is ridiculously strong. I suppose it has to be, but yeah. So all I've done is I've taken some of our all-purpose card, and we're going to pop. This one measures 6 inches square finished. All right, so I've got 6 by 9. I've scored it at 6 inches. I've folded this half over, and I've used a separate piece that we're going to die cut out of that I'm then going to stick on the front here. All right, if you've got a 12 by 12 length, you would probably be able to get this out of one length of card, but our A4 is just slightly short of 12 by 12 inches, so I've just cut an extra piece to go on here. So what we're going to do then is we're going to pop the die, and let me make sure I've got it the right way around. Yeah, this is going to fold over here, so I want that lovely decorative edge to fold back. So I'm just going to secure this down with a little bit of our low tack tape, and then pass that through our Gemini to create that lovely detailed edge. So you can see there I've cut my card at 6 inches, and it's just a fraction longer than the 6 inches. So again, I'm going to tape it to that outside edge just to secure it. Bring in my Gemini plates, and then we'll pass that through the machine just to get that cut on it. So again, normal die cutting sandwich. These dies will fit through any machine. It doesn't have to be a Gemini. We always sort of, make our products to work optimally with the Gemini, because that's the range, but it's a thin metal die, so if you have a different die cutting machine, they will still work. And this one's small enough to actually go through the midi and the junior as well. So there are some of the elements in the collection that would need the larger plates, but there's quite a bit of it that would actually fit through your smaller machines. So when we turn this over, we can see there, I'm just going to release this gently from the back. We've got that lovely. Now, just because my cardstock was a wee bit smaller, I'm just going to release that little tiny bit there. I'll sort that out in a second, get rid of all the bits. And then you can see now that we've got that lovely edge. Now, there are certain pieces that pop out. So we've just got an odd bit there, and I think that's it. And then you've got some of it that stays in the actual design. So you can see where some of the water lilies are here. It's die cut. If I pop it from the back there, you can see how you've got that lift, but it's still anchored in the die. And I love this. It just means that you can get some sort of 3D element to it without going too much. And then the little ones at the top here, the same. They've cut round the petals. So if you want to lift these, really, really delicate. Now, you could add a little bit of ink to the edge of here if you want to, just to highlight it. But yeah, really, really pretty there on its own. Beautiful. And then what we're going to do is we're going to attach that to the front of the card so that this is actually the fold back design on the card. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape, and I want the tape on the inside of that little tab that I've made here. And then we're good to stick that one together. And that's our base card completed. And then we need to think about the decoration. So I've used some papers, cardstock from the card, that beautiful pearlescent card pack. I've used one of the papers from the 6x6 pad just to make some mats and layers to decorate. And then I'm going to use those lovely water lily stamps just to add some detail. So this one, let's get this one stuck together, and then we've got our card at the ready. So this one's going to go on here. So again, I'm just going to line it up with the score line here so that it's not going over the edge. You want the score line to actually fold around your card. Whoops. And then just stick that one down. So now we've actually got that lovely fold back design there. So mats and layers wise, I've actually taken some of that beautiful fuchsia pink, which is the pearlescent card from the card pack, and then I've layered it with one of the sheets from that 6x6 paper pad, and I've done a couple of layers to go on the inside there. All right, so we'll just pop those on with our tape pen. Erin's just saying she likes the colours there. You'll not be surprised that it's pink to start off with, Erin.
I know, I was going to say that. Lots of people are saying they're very
much
much
looking forward. I have to step away from the pink.
No, never do.
I love it, honestly. Everything's always pink.
Yeah, but it works so well with this, doesn't it?
There we go. Ooh. They're all having a guess now what's going to come up next now. You might be surprised. I do try and vary it. I do try my best so that it's not all the same, because it's not everybody's cup of tea. Now, wouldn't you laugh if I did the sunflower collections in pink? So again, we're just going to pop those onto mat and layer on the inside, and then just to add a little bit of colour here so that this shows up better, I've just taken a scrap of what was left off that page for the pink, and I'm going to stick that underneath so that when it folds back there's a bit more definition there. Yeah. So again, this is just going to go onto that flap and just provide a little bit of colour so that it's not white on white. Now, if you want to keep the white on white, absolutely fine. I just thought, just adds, and with this being left over from cutting the mats and layers there, this one's now just going to fit on that back panel there. And it doesn't matter that it's not quite wide enough, it is literally just a decorative piece so that when this folds back, we've got
double-sided finger lift tape at the bottom of your screen. Serious discount with this. Out of this world deal.
I know. There's some crazy deals on at the minute, aren't there?
Have you seen that?
So that's my card blank at the ready. So now we need to decorate. So, do you know, I'm going to have to order more of this. The ribbon pack in the Dragonfly collection is actually seam binding. Now, that might not mean something to everyone out there, but it's the type of ribbon. So it's not organza, which is the more sort of translucent one, and it's not a really thick one. But the beauty of the seam binding is that you can actually crinkle it up if you want to, and it will hold its shape. So you can screw it up, crinkle it all up, and it sort of becomes distressed. Now, I want to leave it in its strip because we're just going to add this onto here and put a little bit of decoration around there. So again, a little bit of glue, whoops, on the back there. And then I need to make sure that that's straight. So we're just going to centre this between the card that's left from the die cut there, and then pop it down this side like so. That looks about straight to me.
Lovely.
So that's just going to sit behind there. So we've got our card at the ready. Now we're going to concentrate on some decoration. So I'm going to bring in that stamp and die set. And in this one, you get the most beautiful little set of stamps. And I love that we've got the different sizes, which allows you to build your flowers. If you want a really full flower, which water lilies often are, you could layer all 4 layers up as together. We're just going to do a couple of them. So I actually want that one and the small one to play with, and then these come with the respective dies, so you can see here how we can actually cut these out. So once we've got them in the right direction, they're fairly easy to line up. You can see that they're the perfect size then to cut out the actual stamps. So what I'm going to do is I actually cut my pieces of cardstock first. So let's just take those, and I want 2 of the small ones and 1 of the large ones. So I'm just going to grab, because those are only small, I can actually pop some cardstock through the mini here. So let's just get a little bit of that smooth all-purpose card, and I'm going to pop 1, 2, whoops, okay. Pop them through here. Now you can stamp first and then die cut. It doesn't really matter which way around you do it, but because I'm going to use the platform to stamp with, the magnetic platform, I can position these and hover that stamp over the top. And then I need to do, I'll do another one of the small ones. And then I'm going to show you how I've created. I have got some of these prepared, but I just wanted to show you that process of how we actually got to where we did.
Okay.
So those will do for now. Pop that to one side. And what I did then was just use my dotty tape pen, and I want a little tiny bit on the back of the flowers, and I mean just a few dots to anchor them. All right, and then I'm going to bring in my stamping platform and literally pop these onto the actual base here.
Perfect.
Now, when you work with these, you'll soon work out which way round the flowers go. There is actually a sort of a pattern to them.
Okay.
So I'm going to pop those in like so. Now, if you're not so sure about this, if you don't want to do this, you can actually use the piece that you've cut out as a stencil and pop your little flowers. Oh, I've got a fly friend in now. Back in here. And use this to anchor them while you're stamping. But I just use the tape. I just think it works absolutely fine. And then all I'm going to do is take the stamps, find the right orientation, and you can see that they fit beautifully right over the top. So that's all we're going to do. Line them up. I think that one is not that one, Jan. There we go.
Oh, that looks great.
And just pop it right over the die cut. And then because we've got that platform, we can pick them up. Now I'm actually going to stamp with some quick dry ink, and I've chosen the plum jam because that's a beautiful colour to work with the pink on the card.
Oh, yeah,
so again, I'm just going to tap lightly, transfer that ink onto the stamps. The quick dry inks have a sponge surface here, so don't press too hard. If you press hard, you're going to end up with ink on your mat here, which won't transfer when you're stamping, but I always think it's just wasting your ink. It's just wasting it. We want that goodness on the okay, you see there?
Lovely.
Absolutely gorgeous. Now, because you've got the platform, I just want to make that outline a little bit more defined, so I'm just going to stamp again with those same flowers. And it's going to go in exactly the same position there, and just make that ink a bit stronger. Okay?
Oh, that's great.
So I'll not bother with this one because, as I say, I have got some already done. So literally, my stamps just get tret to a quick wipe with the old cloth, and that's as good as it gets. They can go back, and I keep mine on the carrier sheet so that I can see exactly where they are for next time. So that's those ones. So we're going to take these guys off now. Just pop my tool underneath. And it is, you know, because I've only used a few of those tiny little dots, they're not going to stick there and create any sort of residue. So pop that one out of the way. And then I'm just going to use this as a background, and then we're going to add some colour. Now, if you wish, you can sort of drag, because this is a water-based ink, you can drag the colour out with a wet brush if you wish, or a sparkle pen. I'm actually going to bring in my alcohol markers for this one and just add some colour to them. So I've got the pale pink blend, and then I've got a slightly stronger pink, just as one of the classics there to add to it. So I'm just going to take the lightest colour first and fill in the petals.
Oh, that looks so nice.
So there's no reason why you can't mix and match your markers, because obviously the tri-blend has got the 3 tones, but I wanted sort of pale in the background and then a really deep pink in the bottom of the petals. Now obviously this one, with it being a pale pink, didn't go deep enough. You'll see what I mean when we actually get to the top part of it. Okay, so I'm just putting flat colour down, what I call flat colouring, no shading at the minute, just that lightest blend, and I've just coloured in all the petals there. Okay, and then we'll do the same with the little one. So again, all it is just getting some of the alcohol ink down into those petals. Okay, and that lovely ink, the ink from the quick dry, the line art, will stay where it is because that's water-based ink and we're working with a solvent pen. Those two are not going to sort of blur So it's just about making sure that you're using the right stamping ink when you come to use your colouring medium. And then I'm going to flick straight to the other end of here, which is the darker shade of that pale pink blend. And again, I'm just going to add a little bit of definition from that centre. The petals in a flower would actually be a little bit deeper in that centre where they're concentrated. Just over the top. And then we'll do the same on the little one there.
Could you use your rose quartz sparkle pen with this? Because I think that colour would just look really nice together.
You could. All I would suggest there, Becky, is that you change your stamping ink. You would actually need to use the waterproof.
Yeah. Because
the sparkle pens are water-based, you would need a line art ink that's not going to move. Otherwise you'll end up with that sort of smudging again going on. And then because I want it to go darker still, I've taken BP4, which is cerise. And what we're going to do right at the very base there is just add that sort of definition at the base.
Looks lovely. Loads of you getting involved with us today. So many people saying they're looking forward to your craft along. Christine's in saying, good morning, everyone. Jerry's in from Southern Maryland saying hello to us all as well. Hello. Rhiannon's asked a question actually about the Dragonfly collection.
Yeah.
Asking, can you please tell me the GSM of the Dancing Dragonfly luxury foiled card pad? Good
foiled
question.
card
now,
pad.
I've looked at it and I personally cannot see the
I don't
answer.
think, I've got mine in my bag. I'm going to say I don't think I've got that over here, but I've got mine in my bag. Let's have a little look. It says 24 sheets, 24 piece. It doesn't actually say on there. You're quite right, Becky. Let's have a feel at it.
It's definitely more than a 180.
It is. I would say about between 220, about
Yeah.
220,
Yeah.
250 maybe. It's a decent weight.
It is.
It's a decent weight, yeah. So if...
That sounds like a 220 to me, Jan.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, really, really pretty, really pretty. Guess the weight of the cardstock. And then I want to just grab I'm going to do yellow. I had to have a look at what colour water lilies were. It's not something that I'm sort of familiar with, so I had a little look, and they have often got a yellow centre, so we're going to go with the yellow there and just pop some nice golden yellow. And you'll see that yellow featuring a wee bit more when we get to the sunflower collection as well. It's the perfect shading for those. And again, I just went a little bit darker around the edges. So that's how we've arrived at those, and then you can start stacking and layering them. So if I move all this out of the way, and I'll bring in the ones that I've done and talk you through the next bit. So you can just see here now where I've literally shaped these. So I've used one of my flower forming tools and shaped these just to create a little bit of shape on them. And then layered the small one over the larger one. And then in the centre there, you can just see the light there. Yep, fabulous. I've just used some of my glossy highlights in the middle there over that yellow ink and left them to dry so that they've got a little glossy centre. So I've got one that's a double, and then I've got two of the smaller ones again that we're actually going to have a play with. And what we're going to do with these is we're going to use these to decorate the centre here. So I thought 3 along there was really, really nice. Okay.
Yeah, lovely.
Now I just realised I haven't put my glue gun on, so I'll just pop these on with a little bit of tape for now. So again, we're going to use that double-sided tape runner. I'll put the large one in the centre first. All right, so I'm just going to eyeball roughly where that centre piece is here. And then I'm just going to pop one of the little ones either side, just to give a feature on that fold back, and those marry up nicely with the design in that die cut as well. And then the last bit, just to finish off, we've got a complete set of sentiments that, you know, some of them are everyday sentiments, some of them are related to the dragonflies, but I actually used the Make Today Amazing. I just thought that was a really nice generic sentiment from that sentiment kit, and I've just stamped that onto a scrap. We're going to pop that in the back here, and then one of the others, one one of the other die sets has got some little embellishment pieces in it as well. So I've just taken the dragonfly out of that embellishment set and just cut some in the scrap. This is that purple cardstock from the pearlescent card pack as well.
Lovely.
So I just had some scraps left over from what I was working on. So I'm literally just going to pop a little tiny bit of wet glue on there, and we're just going to have these as an accent. And I thought the purple and the pink sort of, it drew itself nicely together there. And then the same on this one. Just a couple of little dots on there to hold it in place. And then one at the bottom there. If you wanted to add any pearls to there, you could, but that was my card just using. So let's move all the bits and pieces out of the way. We'll turn you that one round. I'm just going to reinforce that fold on there so that it opens nicely and holds its position. So when we stand it up there, then you've got that lovely sort of fold back using that water lily border. We've got the flowers, the water lily flowers there, and then the card and the paper and the stamps. And this is what I love about the Sarah Signature collections, is that you've got all that coordinating to work. So you don't have to go rooting through your stash to see, have I got the right colour card? Have I got the right colour paper to work with it? It's all been done for you. You just get to play.
And that is where all the fun comes in. Thank you so much for showing us that. Beautiful, isn't it? It is a full range, a full collection that I'm bringing to you today, and that's how you're going to be getting the best discount. Of course, you can purchase some elements of this, well, the elements individually. Head on over to our website. If you want the discount, this is your chance. I have got papers, I've got 12 by 12, I've got wonderful luxury foiled cardstock, embellishments, dies, stamps, embossing folders. There's absolutely oodles and oodles within there. So many people absolutely loving this collection. Christine is saying it's so pretty, Jan. Heather's saying a beautiful card as well. We have got loads of you just talking about how much you adore this. Good morning to Judy. Hiya, Judy, all right, good morning. Yeah, lots of you absolutely adoring this. If you do want to seize the moment, now is your chance. And may I suggest, because with this, it's got that almost watercolour theme, how about you try and create your own watercolour style to pair with it? Because I've actually got a collection coming up for you now where some of the colours match perfectly. This is your aqua markers, 48 of them, all 48. It's been ages since we've had all 48 in a collection. Normally it might just be a pack here or maybe a duo, but you've got all of the colours here. And that means that you have a full spectrum, if you will, of hues to work with. If you've not heard about our aqua pens before, blimey, do have a little look online. The reviews on these are incredible. They give you vibrant colour, but also really easy for you to get a watercolour effect. So when you're looking at these, all of the colours on the front of this one is what you're going to be getting within the pack. You've also got the dual tip on these, so that means that you're going to be getting one of the brush and then one of the tubes. Then I'm bringing to you the florals as well. Now, these floral colours, for me, work beautifully with maybe some of the luxury foil that we've got within, because can you see how you've got some of those yellows and pinks running through and the blues? I think that would work really nicely with this, I have to say. That's from the Dragonfly. I've then got for you your nature collection. So we've got the ocean, we've got the earth kind of hues in here. If you are inspired by nature, you've got that in there. And then I've got your primary colours as well. That beautiful, bold hues, really lovely for rainbow style designs. Think about kaleidoscopes of butterflies and the likes. This is a really comprehensive collection with all 48 of part of it, but also we're giving you a discount. You're saving nearly £34 or nearly $45 saving on this one today. So well worth treating yourself if you fancy it. I will let you know, just in case you are new, if you are going to use these pens, you are going to want some watercolour card. Now, this is a pack of watercolour card where you are going to be getting 45 sheets of this in total. You're going to be getting 3 full packs. That price point on your screen right now is a better price than we normally would do on a multi-buy. 35% saving. And you know that you can use this with the likes of your watercolour pens. You can use it with your sparkle pens. You can use this to create textures and designs. You can use it with inks. You can use this as card bases if you want. So to be able to get 45 sheets, which could quite easily be a minimum of 45 makes, for just £9.50 is fantastic. So seize the moment on that. Speaking of seize the moment, what's that the sound of? Yeah, you guessed it. Launch party later. It's the sound of the launch party, isn't it? Is it? It's, I think, quite rockety though,
I
wasn't
thought you'd just got that flyover there then. That was over here.
No, not quite. I have got for you later on our launch party, which we are so looking forward to. 6 p.m. UK, just to let you know, 10 a.m. Eastern. We have got for you a fabulous box. You are getting over 200 elements within this, and today it is just $24.99 or $24.95. I will just let you know that this is box number 49 already, and if you want to have a nose through it, we've got Jan for you.
I just know that there will be somebody as well out there, at least one, if not more of you, that's got number 1 to 48 as well. So yeah, I've got a lot of these at home. I have got an odd one or two missing. I don't quite know what happened, but yeah, I've got most of them at home. But yeah, like Becky says, we're up to number 49. For those of you that are collecting these, they are a little bit of a collector's item. So yeah, our craft boxes, these make a beautiful gift for someone. I don't know about you guys out there, but I like to buy things that are in a square box because I think they're nice and easy to wrap up. I sort of get a bit panicky when things are an odd shape and I can't wrap them up properly. But yeah, how nice would that be as a nice sort of present for a crafty friend? So on the box we always pop some inspiration on there, so you've got ideas of what you can do, and this one is all about interchangeable scene dies. So you've got a beautiful set of little miniature dies in here that make a nice 5 by 5 inch card, and you know, that's sort of a manageable size. I think sometimes when we go big with the cards it can be a bit daunting if you're just starting on your crafting journey. So a 5 by 5 is a nice little size to work with, and you can make these adorable little scenes by using the papers and the cardstock and some of your inks in there as well. So we've got inside here, always come beautifully wrapped. We've got our welcome from Sarah there in the front, and then you've got that gorgeous wrapping in it, thanking you for your purchase. Now, some of mine are open because I was having a play with this yesterday, but we've got a lot of elements. So I'm going to take all these out and start from the back. So the first bits that we tend to reach for when we're making cards is sort of the cardstock and the paper. So in here you have got a selection of colours that are going to work with those scenes. You can see we've already got sort of night skies coming along. We've got earth tones, a bit of lilac in there, some yellow in there. So you've got a beautiful palette, and these are double-sided sheets of 8 by 8 inch card. And then to go with those, you've got the most gorgeous collection of papers. Now these are a 5 inch square to work with your cards, but again you can just see how you've got those sort of night sky tones, really sort of like smoky evenings. You've got the stars in there, look, yep, daytime scenery, okay, more sort of beachy themed, and then that lovely greens for sort of like the fields and the mountains. So they've all been thought through. You've got 4 of each, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 designs, and 4 of each pattern in there. So that's the sort of the consumable element. And once you've got through that, you can always start and add, you know, elements from other paper pads that we all hoard and cardstock that we all hoard. I know you're all the same out there. And then, as always with the kits, you get selection of cards and envelopes. Now we normally give you different sizes, but in this one we're stuck with that lovely 5 by 5 because it's the perfect size. When I show you the die plate, you'll see it's the perfect size to work with those dies. So you've got your cards and envelopes there ready, and again, once you've used those, a 5 by 5 card you could make easily from a sheet of A4 cardstock, so that one's okay. And then the main sort of feature in this kit is that little die set. Now you may think, well, what on earth is that, Jan? It looks very, very odd. But the idea behind these is that you've got options. If I just take one of those card blanks, and I will demo this in Launch Party later so you'll see how it works. but these are intended to go. You can cut straight into your card, or you can make like a topper, but you can see here how we've got elements that are going to create that aperture. Now this one's got the makings of a tree at one side and then the little lamppost, which is really cute. And then here you've got that sort of trees coming along in the background. So the idea is that you make yourself the aperture, and then you've got a second one. If you don't want the lamppost, you can pop another tree in. And then you've got extra trees to build up the dimension with it, the depth, if you want to put more than one layer in. You've got the little clouds, and then you've got the house. And this one is actually so cute. So let me just show you here. This is intended to be the smoke coming from the chimney there. Okay, so you've got all those. You know, you might want to sort of create a little scene with the house in the front there, and as I say, I'll do a demo for you with this later in the show. So let me just stick those back on. That's the metal work in there. I'll come back to that in a second. And then we've also got a die set, a stamp set to match. So with the stamps, you've then got the ability to add extra trees in there if you wish. So if you want a third layer in the background, which would be more in the distance, you've got the silhouette trees to pop behind. And then you've got a lot of really usable sentiments in there. So we've got just a little something. I like the generic sentiments. Warm wishes, you are so loved, especially for you, so very thankful. Thank you, I miss you, and with thanks. So lots of really usable ones that are everyday sentiments in there. So again, that's your stamp set. And then as always with the collections, we always pop you some embellishments in again. So not one or two, we've got 3 different sizes of ribbon. And again, picked out colours that fit, you know, with the cardstock and the paper that we've put in. And then you've also, these are one of my favourites, you've got the little dewdrops, which are like a clear self-adhesive, like a little half bead. The dewdrop just explains them perfectly, and you've got those in different sizes there. But these will actually take your alcohol pen as well. So if you want to use your alcohol pen on them, you can change the colours of them. That's why I like the clear ones, because you can then sort of colour them to fit your project. So you've got a whole caboodle of goodies in there to play with. And as I say, you've got inspiration on the front of the box there. If I just close that one up again. So again, if you want to copy any of those cards on the front there, absolutely fine. And there's a little one on the back again, and it gives you a detailed list of what's included in your box there. So yeah, a really nice one. I'd not seen this until yesterday, and I got it out to have a little play with. I've done something similar to this. Used this as inspiration, but I've added the little house in as well, and we'll have a look at that later on during the launch party later on this evening, if you can join us.
Absolutely worthwhile grabbing your hands on it whilst you can. And as we said, we will be doing some inspiration with it in a little bit. As a reminder, over 200 elements, including but not limited to your metal dies, your clear stamps, you've got loads of ribbon, you've got 100 of those lovely little dewdrops in there as well. There's absolutely loads of fun to be had in here. And it is just £24.99 or £24.95. Or if you're platinum, even lower. We have got for you a very special offer today, our summer season deal today. And this summer season is all about the season of Christmas and festive times and winter. We have got for you some deals selected up to 70% off today. These are just an idea of some of the treats that we've got, some lovely creator cards. We have got some real deals on our website. Head on over right now, and in fact, whilst you head on over, do make sure that if you've got anything that you want to check out today, whether it's these ones or whether it's those wonderful newish floral frames, or if you just want to treat yourself to a deal that's, oh, I don't know, around £1, then do head on over to our website. Whilst you do that, add things to your basket, check them out, and then you can chill out with us. Whilst you do that, have a little look at our Club Inspire.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash. Draw, decorate, and customize your world with the colorful Spectrum Noir acrylic paint markers. Each premium paint marker gives opaque coverage on ceramic, glass, wood, and let's not forget paper, cardstock, and canvas. These versatile markers are filled with highly pigmented premium water-based paint, offering beautiful, rich, and smooth coverage. The colors can be blended together and the fast-drying opaque paint is ideal for layering. A 3mm bullet tip offers smooth strokes and a precision valve mechanism allows rich and consistent flow with no clogging. Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash.
Go on, what have you bought? Go on, just tell me. I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm not going to dub you into your partner. What have you treated yourself to? I know some of you have. We've got Oslinden saying the deals are ridiculous, especially on the creator card dies. That's a part of our sale that we've got. Heather said there are some brilliant deals in the sale. I've just had a quick look. My eye, Heather. Whatever. Just a look. Yeah. Pop some treats in your basket. Welcome back. It's lovely to see you. My name's Becky. If you haven't had a little nosy on our sale yet, it's on our website. Go and have a little look for your summer season sale. Wonderful. Oslind mentioned the creator card dies. May I just draw your attention to a different type of creator card that quite frankly have been so popular already. Already this morning we have had droves of you grabbing these and adding them to your baskets. These are really new. We launched them less than a week ago, and what we're bringing to you here is something which is easy to use, really well thought out, lovely in precision, but also something for any occasion. Any occasion. Now, this collection that we're bringing is a really nice sort of bite-sized collection. And that means that if you want to give this a go without maybe, breaking the bank, I've got you covered today. Let me just give you a little show of what you're getting in this framed floral creator card die collection. In this one, I'm going to be bringing to you 3 die sets. And as you can see, you are looking here at your 5.5 by 5.5 watercolour pad pages at the background. So these are just example backgrounds, but you will get this as a paper pad. I've got your blushing poppy. I've got for you your dainty dahlia. And also I've got your traditional rose. Now, the paper pads that you are going to get with this is watercolour theme, and I think it's safe to say they are sensational. Dependent on what colour you use and what flower you use is going to almost change the season. It's going to change the theme. So let's say we went for the blushing rose. I'm sure a lot of us know that different coloured roses mean different things. If I put the lovely yellow behind the traditional rose, all of a sudden that's yellow rose is a sign of friendship. So I've created a friendship themed card there. It's going to look beautiful. If I paired it with lavender roses are like a sign of magic and enchantment. This is going to maybe make like a theme for, I don't know, like a mythical creature party or a sort of mermaidial inspired design. Dependent on your colour, dependent on the flower, you're going to get different feels. But don't forget that you can stock stock up on the paper pad alone as well. Today, we've given you a discount deal. Normally, you're looking at just shy of £57. Today, it's $45.55 or $55.85. So a great time to seize the moment. We are going to be diving on into a demo with this, and I am aware that this is quite new. So if you have any questions about it, do send them in on our socials. Grace is looking after you today, and we'll try and answer them as quickly as we can. For now, though, shall we dive on into a demo? Which one did you choose to demo first?
I've gone for the dainty dahlia. We were saying earlier, it's a bit like tomatoes and tomatoes, isn't it? So I think I tend to refer to it as a dahlia. I don't know what the correct pronunciation is. You said it, I think you said dahlia, didn't you?
I did, but I think dahlias, is that American?
I don't know. But anyway, it's a beautiful flower. And the idea behind these is that, you know, if you're familiar with our Creator Card dies, you don't need to do much more than die cut this, and you've got the makings of your card. They are beautiful. I launched these last week on our TV channel, and honestly, they really are beautiful to work with. They're a 5.5-inch square, which is a really nice size because we tend to work in a 6x6, 8x8. This has just taken it down a little bit and makes them the perfect topper to put on a 6-inch square card. So in your kit, each one comes with 2 pieces, and I love how they've done this. They've actually made the outside cutting edge a separate die. So you've just got that square, and that's the one that measures the 5.5 inches from cutting side to cutting side. Now you might just want to make yourself a matte layer with this one. And then the inside section has got all that gorgeous detail on it. Now this one's actually got slight gaps in the outside frame. So as you follow the flower round, you'll see that every so often there's a little gap in the edge where it's not going to cut. And that's what's going to anchor it to your piece of cardstock. So that means that you can cut into your card. So if you like, for example, things like diorama cards, and we're going to do one of those later on in the launch party show, this will cut into that and make that aperture with the flower attached to it. If you want it to be a separate topper, then all you're going to do is cut them together, and you can see how that one's slightly larger and they're not going to touch, but you're going to get that frame, outside frame, to make it sort of, when you look at the one on the packaging here with the black frame, that's how that one's been done. It's had that external die plus the internal die to make you a piece that you can stick on top. Now I'm going to go rogue and go completely different again. You know me, it's like I like to think, well, yeah, that's the concept. And if you're new to these, have a look back. I think it was last Friday that these launched here at Crafters TV, and I know there will be lots and lots of inspiration as to how these were just intended to be, but I wanted to show you a little bit of something alternative as well. Now the guys they were actually trying to second guess what colour I was going to use, and you might be surprised with this one because I'm actually going to bring a piece of blue. Look at this. Jan's going blue. But I just want to show you that paper pad. This is exquisite, and even I would be, if this comes with the bundle, that's fine. I would be adding an extra one of these in. There are 40 sheets in here. There's 10 different designs and 4 of each sheet, and they've all been created so that any one of them will go with any of the 3 flower choices, but some of them are a bit more obvious than others. For example, this would be terrific with those poppies. I know, like you said, Rebecca, I think that lovely apricot-y one would look gorgeous behind the roses. So there's lots of different patterns in there. You can choose whichever. I've taken that lovely sort of turquoise, and it's gone darker. If you think about flowers, where there's more concentration of petals, it will actually get darker. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the frame in some plain white card, and then we're going to lay it over the top, and that's as simple as it gets. So all I'm going to do is pop both of these. In fact, do I need both of them? Yes, I do need both of them. No, I'll leave it like that. I can manage with it like that. I've been very skimpy with my piece of card there. But what I'm actually going to do is cut the flower out of it. We're always talking about snippability with the dies, and I'm actually going to cut the flower without, basically take the corners away from it to make it a free flower. So we'll cut it first, and this can be done in any of your cardstock, or you can cut it directly into your paper, whichever you prefer. So I'm just going to bring the plates back again and pass this. And with this being 5.5 inches square, this will easily pass through your Gemini Junior or your MIDI. I've just got the big plates. I tend to use the larger Gemini just in case I've got a larger project, which I have got one coming up later. So that's going to pass through and do all the hard work for us, cutting out. And then I've taken, as I say, the blue piece of paper here, and we're going to stick that die cut flower over the top of the blue to start off with. So let's just take that one out of there and have a little look. We should have got all that, and just look how it's just literally all fell away. This is the beauty of having the Geminis. So this one's stuck because I've got the tape in there, but all I'm going to do is lift this off, okay, and then get rid of a lot of the other pieces in there just to expose, and I'll just show you even just the white over that piece of blue pattern paper. If that's all you want to do with it, it's absolutely fine. So let's just pop all the pieces out. If you've got your die brush handy, you could use that. There's just one or two that's not come out. A lot of them just fell out when I took the die away there.
Oh, Heather says that she ordered the MIDI yesterday, so she could use these with the MIDI.
Yes.
Says, I've got so many parcels coming and I cannot wait to play.
I know. I consider it playing. I don't consider it work at all.
Yeah.
So again, let's just get rid of that one for a second. I'll clean that up in a minute. But you can see if we just lay this now over the top of that piece of paper there, and if that's all you do with it, but can you see how you've got that lovely concentration? You know, have a play, see which way it sort of fits best, where you want that concentration of colour. I think I like it that way. Yeah?
Lovely.
Just so that you've got all that detail in, and then you might want to pop this on top of your card. That might be all you do with it, and that's the beauty of having Create a Card. A nice little sentiment in there, job's done. So what I'm actually going to do is stick this down first, and the dotty tape pen's perfect for this. Lots of different options. If you wanted to add some double-sided adhesive onto the back of your piece of card before you cut it, then you can actually peel that adhesive off and it's all sticky. But I'm just going to use our dotty tape pen here, and I'm just going to take that over some of the elements that have been die cut. So nice light pressure, and that will just transfer those dots onto the cardstock and allow us to stick that down. And I do tend to follow the sort of direction of the die cuts there so that I'm not lifting them and snapping pieces off. So just rotate it, have a look where those dots need to be, make sure I've got good coverage. I'm not too worried about the edge because I'm going to snip a lot of the edge away. So just where the flowers touch the edge there, I'm going to put a little bit, because we're going to snip into this and just create the flower itself. Okay. And then literally pop that over the top of our card and then turn it over and give it a really good press from the back and get all those dots sealed down.
Lovely.
So as I say, it may be that you want to take this and you maybe had a matten layer behind it and then just literally pop that on your card. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little snips and I'm going to start and cut into this. So I'm going to get rid of the corner pieces first because I don't want the corners at all. But I'm just going to follow the edge of the die, and I've got my scissors at a slight angle rather than them being straight, at a slight angle so that I'm not tempted to cut through the actual die cut. But I'm going to follow that outside edge and literally cut around the petals to make like a free flower.
I see.
So I didn't want it in its frame for this particular style. So again, just that's why it's sort of reasonably important to make sure that those edges are stuck down. So again, just following it. Now, where it meets the framework, you might think, well, there's a bit missing. But all I did when I got to the actual frame was just have a look and thought, right, there's a petal here. So all I'm going to do is just trim into the frame, look, and actually make that into another petal there.
Yes, I see.
All right, and then follow it round. Same again, we've got quite a large petal at the top there. So again, just use that frame, make it about the same width as the rest of the die cut, and you can actually create that shape.
Lovely. And I've noticed you're using our sort of littlest scissors.
Yes.
Are those the ones you suggest?
That's a bit of a personal preference. That's a good question, actually, Becky. You know, I know people that would do this with their large ones. I've got my large ones out here. I know there are people that would actually do this, and that's fine. It's a bit of a personal thing. I like, for any free cutting like this that's sort of a little bit more intricate, I do like the little snips. Personally, I find that I have more control over them. But if you like the big scissors, it doesn't really matter which ones you use. All I would say is just keep them at that slight angle so that you're not tempted to nick into that die cut there. And all I'm going to do is follow that all the way round that die cut, and I'm not going to sit and make you watch me cut all the way around it. I've already got it done because it does take a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's understandable. If you do want these scissors, by the way, we've got a trio bundle whereby the small ones that Jan is now using are free within it. So do head on over. It's a 20% discount, which means essentially those ones are free. So because basically we get praises sung about our scissors.
They are. I've got through a lot of scissors in my crafting life, and these are beautiful. All three sets. They're titanium coated, which makes them non-stick. So even for cutting through things like sticky substances, they're not going to stick there. Yep. And they snip right to the very point. Yeah. If I just show you on a piece of plain card here, quite often I've got scissors where you've got to nearly to the end and that's it, they don't go any further, but these go right to the very point, look, and it cuts all the way through. Same with the large ones. I've got my my medium-sized ones in the bag, but same with the large ones, right to the very edge of the scissors. And the large ones have also got the measurements on as well. We've got some inches on there, which if you're wanting to cut, say, for example, 2 inches in, you would just line it up at the 2 and cut right to the very end, and you know that that's an exact measurement there without having to measure anything. Yeah. Never seen them like that before, to be honest.
It's fab, isn't it? Oh, I've just had a question in from Rosalind, which is to do with kind of what we're talking about. I wondered if you run that through your Gemini, what you're making now, with an embossing mat, would it raise the paper?
Yes, it would, yes. So what I would do from that kind of thing is actually cut this a couple of times and stick them together so that you've got a decent thickness of die cut. Lovely. And then, yes, if you pop that with your embossing mat onto either some paper, it looks really effective on mirror card, things like that. This would actually give you an embossed design, because where the cardstock is, the rubber mat would push it into your next layer of card or paper, and you would get that lovely design. So if you follow this all the way round, this is what we're going to end up with. So I've just taken the frame away. You can see here, if I pop this one back, let me just line up where it's going to be. There, look. There's just an odd bit that I've sort of decided to lose there. But other than that, it's just taken it all the way around the edge, and I've created that free flower now, which is what I want for this particular project. So we've got our flower at the ready there. And then as far as the card's concerned, I chose some colours that sort of match, and I've taken some turquoise. I can't remember which the turquoise one was from, but I know the paper's from the Vintage Butterfly collection. You can just see a couple of them have snuck in there. And this is, I think we're on, where are we? 8 1/4. So it's the full width of our A4, and it measures 5 3/4 deep. So I've made a nice matte layer just to fit on the back there. And we're going to secure that, and I'm going to go back to my double-sided. I only use the dotty pen for those intricate die cuts. I try not to use this. You can use this for matting and layering, but I just think those dots are precious, and I like to go back to that normal double-sided one to add any sort of flat mats and layers and things like that.
Great.
So again, just to pop this one straight onto the card, you can mount it up if you wish. We'll have it that way, I think's the right way. So again, I've just left a white border around my card blank there, and that's just going to go on nice and flat. Okay. And then we're going to pop this on with some foam pads and have it just taking it off the edge of the, you know, you could bring it within the parameters of the card, but I'm just going to lift it and take it slightly up off the edge there. But just before I do that, to break up a little bit, I've just got a scrap. I had a look in my drawer, and I've got, whereas I've got yards and yards and yards of ribbon, I didn't have one that was the right colour for this. So what I've done is I've just taken a piece of that backing paper, and we're just going to pop this to break it up a little bit before we pop that large focal element on. So again, I'm just going to put a little bit of the double-sided tape.
Lovely.
On the back of there. Make sure it goes to both ends there. And then we're just going to pop this sort of about 1/3 of the way up there. And then I'm just going to eyeball that that's looks about straight there, doesn't it, I think?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
And then seal that one down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put foam pads on the back of here, but obviously miss that very top section. So we don't need them on that top area there. I'm just going to put them lower down.
Okay, perfect. Ooh, just to let you know, it is busy with a capital busy on these ones. Rhiannon's in saying, I absolutely love this collection. The paper pad's so pretty. I've bought the collection and an extra 6 paper pads. Christine said, I ordered this collection yesterday and added 10 more paper pads. I may even get more at some point today. Why not? Shadi is in saying, I bought this collection this morning just because I do, I'd love to do paper piecing. That'd be
Now
good, wouldn't
they're
it?
guessing in my ear. They're trying to find the paper for you. If I had to guess, I would say try Secret Garden, because that's one of the packs that I have out quite regularly. I don't know whether there is a turquoise in there. If it's not Secret Garden, it might be part of the vintage butterfly collection, because obviously that's where the paper's from. It usually depends whatever's out at the side of me when I'm crafting.
Yeah.
I do like the cardstock pack that's in the Secret Garden. It's got a nice palette of colours in there, so it could be from that one.
Lovely.
So I've just put the foam pads towards the bottom, and I've left that top area free, so that when it pops above the top of the actual card itself, we've not got any sticky behind there. So you can see there, that looks totally different than when it was actually in its frame. If I bring that packaging sample back in again there, with it sat in the frame, looks very different to that one. So then I've just created a nice little sentiment there. Had a look through what I'd got in my stash, and I thought this was perfect for it. Live life in full bloom, and we're just going to pop that one towards the bottom there. And then I did have a finished sample for this one where I just added a few little bits of bling. You can see we're on exactly the same idea, but just a few little bits of bling on there just to jazz it up a bit. And again, you've got a really nice take if you want to make it larger than that 5x5 size. So you can use that flower as your focal point and then take it wherever it is. These would look gorgeous as well. You can just imagine that as a beautiful focal point on a scrapbook page. Just sort of in the corner with your photo peeking out from behind it. I think that would be stunning, wouldn't it?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That looks absolutely fabulous, doesn't it? I think that's so pretty. I absolutely adore that. Do you know what, actually, I'm imagining putting sort of like an outdoor varnish on it and having it on like a hairband as well. There's loads you could do with that. It's so pretty. Thank you so much for showing us that, Jan. I love it. If you want to treat yourself, this is popular. So please do be quick as you popular can on this one. I'm bringing to you the blushing poppy. I've also got the Dahlia or Dahlia, depending on how you say it. I've also got for you your traditional rose, and you're going to get a paper pad as well with those different sheets of paper within them and all of the different styles, and you can see how beautiful they are just to layer up. If you want additional paper pads, head on over to the website because we have got you covered. Lillian is saying, Jan, that looks lovely, even without any pink. Hello to Christine as well, saying amazing, so beautiful. It's a fabulous card, that, isn't it? And you can create it too if you fancy it today. Should be nearly 60 quid or nearly $90 today though. Sorry, we've changed it over, haven't we? But how much was it? I've forgotten now. I've got it written down. I've got it written down here. It's 32 for you. There you go, 45, 55 or 55, 85. If you do want to seize the moment, and it does come with the paper pad. Let me tell you what else I've got, because I think this would be gorgeous with it. So you know how we've got the water reactive ink pads and how they create a watercolour effect? Well, with these, I've got the watercolour paper. So just imagine almost creating your own to be able to layer up with these. I've got a whole heap full of fabulous colours for you. Let me show you in this collection what we've got. I'm bringing to you your beautiful Bordeaux. Just in case you are new, the colour you see in this area is kind of a reflection of the colour that it looks like when you use it on white, just to give you an idea. I've got your orange as well, which I'm just looking at this paper pad and thinking, for the poppies, hello. Then I'm bringing to you the straw bale. again, lots of these colours mimicked within here. So you could actually edge that up and almost make your own backing for that matte layer. I've got for you your plum jam. I've got some fuchsia in here. Then I've got your pink tulip, which I think needs to go with that colour because, I mean, hello, they look like they were separated at birth. I've also got for you your midnight blue, nice, deep and rich. And just a thought on this one, how's about popping it with the pad number 49? That, you know, the new box that we've got. Do you remember that really deep, dark midnight sky paper? That'd look nice. I have your ocean blue. Then I'm bringing to you your jet black, and I've got your parakeet as well. So all of those within there, an absolute massive stack, as you can see, and we're bringing it to you today for just $46.99 or $70.99. And again, great platinum price. Now, I've got an out of this world deal with one of those products that, in all honesty, we do not see that often. We are bringing to you, we bring to you so many different fabulous tapes, but we have got finger lift tape today. Now, I've got 4 here to show you, just because of my hand span. I've actually got 8 of them as part of this deal. Now, if you're working this out, it's working out just over £1.10 per roll, which it most certainly should not be. Finger lift tape, Jan, for anyone who's not seen it before, why do we adore it?
Do you know, one of the nicest things about that is the clue in the title. And if I don't know whether I've got any with me. Here we go. Let me just grab this one. Try and get it to show you what it means by it. The actual carrier tape is wider than the self-adhesive tape inside. So I don't know whether we'll be able to pick this up on camera or not. We'll get our Nicola to come and have a really close look.
This?
She's in on it. Look at this. So the carrier tape is a fraction wider than the actual sticky element. Can you just see where it's a wee bit darker in the middle? The double-sided tape runs through the middle. All right, thanks, Nicola, yeah? And the reason we call it finger lift is because that piece at either side isn't sticky. It means that you can literally use your finger to get a hold of the tape and peel it away from the sticky, hence the finger lift tape. Now, a lot of double-sided tapes, the sticky bit goes the same width as the carrier, and then it's harder to get the carrier piece off. You end up with the pokey tool sort of trying to get underneath it. But if I can try and release a little bit of this, I'll show you what I mean here. The actual sticky bit here, you can see there, look, the carrier is almost sort of ½ an inch wide, but the actual sticky element of it is more like a ¼ inch wide. So that leaves you that 1/8 of an inch at either side where you can literally just lift. I tend to use my pokey tool, but just pop your finger under it and you can actually peel that back in away, no problem whatsoever. It is really good stuff.
Fabulous. And actually quite a nice one for crafting with younger people.
Yep.
Because sometimes if you're crafting with younger people and say they are using double-sided, red liner tape, you don't want them using a pokey tool, right? So maybe for younger people, or if you've got dexterity problems, that could be really good. And it's a fabulous deal for you today. So do feel free to treat yourself. Speaking of treats, it's most certainly getting to that time of year where we want to add a little bit of brightness to our life. The sun has been beaming, the flowers have been blooming, so why not have your wonderful homemade cards, boxes, frames, whatever it might be, reflect this season. I am bringing to you the Sunflower collection, and this is joyous. Yellow is said to be the, in a recent study, yellow was said to be the most smile-inducing colour. Basically, they tested lots and lots of people, showed them lots of different colours, and yellow was the one that made the vast majority of people say that they felt happy and that they felt sort of like they wanted to smile. Out of all of the colours that they tested, yellow came at the top. And I can completely understand. I am looking at this and it's making me smile. You think about those wonderful sunflower colours and they're just working so nicely in this pad. Lots of different designs in there. That's just the 12 by 12 pad. If I move it, whoopah! There's oodles behind this, including I've got stamp and dies that do this really cool geometric frame. Love this. I've got lots of sentiments within here for you that you can interchange with the word sunshine, so such as sunshine and smiles, or sunshine on a rain. Oh no, that's the song, isn't it? Sunshine on a rainy day. It's a cloudy day. But either way, what an absolute classic off of the 90s. Anyway, I've also got for you in here your striking sunflowers. This would be great to use if you wanted, maybe with the flower forming tool, which we do have on the show if you did want to seize the moment. You can have a nose on our website otherwise. We've got the Sunflower Splendor as well, which the frame for this for me, someone mentioned paper piecing earlier on, and I think this would be fabulous with that. Then I'm bringing to you your Sun-Kissed Wishes. I think the half kind of stamp that we've got here is ingenious.
We're going to use that one in the demo.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one that jumped out when I looked through this collection. As a stamper,
Yeah.
I love that, yeah.
Genius, so
Yeah.
clever. I've also got for you, thank you so much. Now, if you're looking at these stamps, you might think, I have no idea what those mean at all. Don't worry, you'll use them in the numbers that they are ordered, so they all have numbers next to them. It's on the carrier sheet. And when you layer them up, you can create this look. Even if you're new, you can do that. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you with this collection. I've got for you embossing folders. I've got for you the stencils is the word I'm looking for. And then I've got for you some more of your paper pads. So it's the same designs that you're getting in here as the 12 by 12. It's just we've shrunk them down. And please note, we don't cut off sections. We just kind of shrink it. So you still get all of the beautiful detail within here. I have got for you as well your vellum in this, which is just, as we all know, the wonderful translucent papers. Ours I love because they've got so much detail on them, and sometimes vellums maybe don't have that, but they have so much detail. I've also got to you 6 different colours of like a textured luxury linen card. So it's like a close-up of linen when you see it and when you feel it. And last but by no means least, bringing to you our flower form foam. So this means that you can use those dies to create real 3D flowers that feel and look super realistic. Every single one of these is part of your pack, and today it just goes on and on and on and on. But you're getting it for just $94.99 or $122.55. It's a smile-inducing collection, and speaking of making you smile, I can't wait for this demo now, Jan.
And again, it's one of those that you sort of, I mean, a sunflower, like you said, I just think it is a really sort of happy flower, isn't it?
So true.
It's like that, those beautiful, yeah, and the size of them as well, they grow to such a big size. Honestly, we used to grow them when the children were little because they're really easy to grow. And obviously watching them climb, and they ended up taller than the fence, it was lovely. So it brings back a lot of sort of memories from when my girls were little. But when I flick through the collection, I love it. There's a lot of elements to the collection, but I'm just going to keep it really simple, and I'm going to use the stamp set, and I'm going to use it in conjunction with that lovely little striking sunflower, and we're going to make one of the flowers as an embellishment. So I'll come back to that in a little while. But I just love, like you, Becky, that half sunflower really sort of drew me in, and I just thought, yes, I like that idea. So you've got a really nice one here that I'm going to use later in a different demo on the later show. Some beautiful sentiments. Just a wildflower in love with the sunshine. Rise above the storm and you'll find the sunshine. And then wild like a flower, warm like the sun. And then you've got a couple of more generic ones. But this was the one I thought, yes, I like that one. So we're going to take that one out to use first. Okay. And then what I've done is I've taken a piece of cardstock. We're going to make a DL card, but we're going to make it landscape. So we're going to work this way. So this is actually Nina cardstock. I just wanted a lighter layer to stamp on. And this actually measures 4 1/8 by 8. And what I've done is I've used my pencil and ruler, and I've just measured in just about 1 inch from either side to create a track down the centre. And what I'm going to do is stamp the flowers along the outside, so it looks as if they're popping out from the line. So a little bit of masking going on. I've just brought some sticky notes here, which we've all got hidden in our stash, I know you have. And literally what I want to do is actually blank out the rest of it so that where I'm stamping just falls in the place. So first of all, we'll work down this left-hand side, and I'm just going to take those sticky notes and follow my pencil line and just make sure that that line is masked off. So I don't want any stamping on this side. And then again, just separate. They are very, very sticky. Again, I'm going to come from the bottom and then up to there.
Lovely.
And then they weren't, whoop, sticky side down works better, Jan. There we go. And then just that centerpiece to cover up. And then we've got our area masked out. So we're actually going to work along this side, and I'm going to stamp the flowers as if they're popping out of that edge. So again, bring in the old stamping platform. It gets used on pretty much nearly every card project that I work on. So we're going to pop that in here, anchor it down, and then I'm going to take, because they were sunflowers, I went for the brown ink because we're going to colour with the yellows and the browns to colour it in. So I thought the brown ink would be nice rather than the black, but again, that is purely preference. So what we're going to do is on that side, we're going to do a couple on one side, and I'm just going to take it slightly over the masked area so that the flower fits in the gap, and I'm going to do a couple on this side and then fill in the gaps on the other side. So literally just by moving it about, we're going to get that first one down on here. Okay, and again, I've chosen the alcohol proof ink because I'm going to work with my alcohol markers. If you prefer a watercolour medium, then just swap out your finesse ink for your waterproof ink so that you've not got that line art being disturbed when you start colouring. So that's the first layer, and then I'm just going to give that a little wipe with my old cloth there, and then we're going to reposition this one further down. So I'm going to put a couple, just taking it to the outside edge of the card there, and then the other bit, I'm not worried that it's actually over the top of the masked area. So again, ink it up, pop that one down, like so. So we've got two on that side. And then I'm going to move the masking paper now, whoops, a little bit on that edge there, so that ink is still there if it's not transferred, unless I missed it when I was inking up. Well, we can live with that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the whole masking sheet now, try and keep it intact. And then we're going to turn it round and we're going to work on this side. Now you could have just turned your platform around, but I actually want to reposition. Didn't do very well at keeping them all together, did I? There we go. So then we're going to do the same again at this side. One. Just up to that pencil line that I've drawn. And we're going to cover the pencil line up with a piece of card, so don't worry about that being in there.
Okay.
And then we're going to do the same again. So I've got flowers sort of here and here on this side. So what I want to do now is just offset them slightly.
Okay.
So I'm going to go in the middle first. So I know I've got one there. I can see through my piece of paper there. I've got one there. So we're going to sort of aim for round about the middle.
Okay.
And we're going to put one there. And then I'm just going to do a couple of little bits that go off the edge to fill in that top and bottom.
Lovely.
On this side.
Loads of you are loving this collection. Susan says, I've ordered the striking sunflowers and then caved in and ordered loads more sunny items. What lovely stamps I plan to use for notelets and tag dies with the hummingbird collection.
Oh, lovely, yes. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
It's a great idea. I love
Mixing
that.
and matching.
Yeah. Heather says, I need my sunflowers. Have you managed to order them, Heather? I hope so. Pammy's ordered hers, said, and I'm excited for this collection. When it comes, I'm going to hide in my crafting area and have a nice long play. That sounds like a great afternoon.
It's nice when you first get a new collection in, isn't it? To just get it all out, have a look at it, look at the papers. Maybe if you've got stamps and dies, just try them out on some scrap card so that you've got an idea of how they behave, that kind of thing.
Yeah, great tip.
And then you can decide on your composition for projects and things like that.
Yes.
So that's that last one in place there. So, okie doke, so just give that a wipe, take that away, and then I'm going to lift the whole thing away from there and just get rid of that little bit of ink so that I don't transfer it at a later date. And then when we take away that masked piece, we've got these running down either side, and then I've got we're going to put a piece along the middle here so that it looks as if they're coming from either side. So I'll show you that bit in a second. So again, just colouring wise, just going to lean on the scrap there. Again, I've chosen that lovely, I said that gold yellow would come back into play for the sunflowers, and then earth brown for the centres there. Okay, so I'm just going to do the one on here, or shall I do the couple on this side, because I have got one that's complete. But again, very, very straightforward. I haven't done anything too difficult with these. And again, if you prefer a watercolour or a sparkle ink, you can do exactly the same. Just swap your stamping ink out for the waterproof one instead of the alcohol proof one. So all I'm literally going to do is use the lightest of those yellows and literally fill in all the petals. So job number one is to get that light colour down. And this is very similar to how we coloured the water lily if you were watching at the top of the show with that first demo for the dancing dragonfly. I've not gone too technical with this. Okay, literally the light one down first. And I'm not too worried if it comes under here because this is going to be covered up. So don't worry if you've got a little bit sort of sneaking down into the lower part. You want to make sure that what's showing is coloured. And then when you check these out, I got a little bit, will it show on there? You've got the golden yellow, you've got the mid-tone, and then it does get quite brown towards the bottom there. So I didn't want that brown shade. So I've literally just gone for the mid-tone with it this time. Normally I would flick to the dark at this point, but I wanted to keep it yellow rather than introducing that brown shade. So where the line art is, you've got the clue there as to where those flower petals would be a wee bit darker. And even on this edge bit here on the tip of the petals there, I'm just literally going over where that line is in the line art, not being particularly careful. It doesn't have to be difficult. And then flick back to that light one and just blend the two together. Now, if you go over the dark one, you'll start and bleach out the darker ink. So just when you're blending, bring it to the dark area at each side, as if you're sort of filling in the gap. Okay, and then you can just see how this starts to build up that sort of depth of colour in them. And because I only use the mid-tone and not the dark one, there's not a vast change in the colour. So I'm going to go back to the mid again and just add another layer, which I'm not going to blend out this time. I'm just going to leave that to sort of do its own thing. Because the alcohol's still wet, you will get a certain amount of sort of almost like bleeding one into the other rather than it just sitting still. So that's going to be the colouring there. And then I just brought in the lightest one of the brown to add that. So they have those lovely brown centres in there. And again, if you want to add any of the darker shades, and just colour them in as we've got them there. So you can see how we've done there. And if I bring you the one, I've done exactly the same there, and we've got them all coloured in ready. So a little bit slight difference with the positioning, but you get the idea with those. All right, so we pop that one to one side. That's going to be for our card. And then I wanted to have a little play with this one as well. So I'm going to bring my little mini back in because this is ideal for these smaller dies. And in here you've got a whole cluster of dies that are going to work to make yours. So you've got the two sunflower sets there. you've got the centres of the sunflower, and then you've got some foliage as well. All right, so I have die cut some of this already. I just wanted to concentrate on this one. So we're just going to take a piece of that lovely, there's 2 tones of yellow in that card pack. You've got a more lemony yellow and then this lovely rich golden yellow colour. So really, really nice. Yeah, that's the other one. So you can see that there's 2 different shades of it there. Is that really pretty, along with several other colours in it as well. So I've chosen the slightly darker one to make the sunflower. And again, I've gone with, I want to leave a space to pop another one of the bigger ones. I can always pop another piece of card in if there's not enough left. And again, all these little elements, as I say, it's handy if you've got the Gemini Mini, just to keep that at the side of you. There's no point in popping your large Gemini plates through the bigger machines if you don't have to. Just sort of housekeeping wise, it will prolong the life of those larger plates. And then I want that large one again. Can we fit that in there? No, we'll do it. Stop being, you know, and then same with these ones, with the Mini. I'm going to turn this over now and use the other side. Okay. Just again, that housekeeping, to keep rotating and turning them, gives them that little bit longer life.
If you do want the Mini, we have got 10% off it. If you do want the MIDI, we've also got 10% off it. If you do want the original, we've got 10% off Gemini machines, is my point, if you do fancy treating yourself to them. Because, as you're saying, it is really handy to have a Mini two-hand, isn't it?
I always have mine sat at the side of me for these little embellishments.
Yeah.
As I say, the larger plates are precious. And to keep passing them through the machine, every time you pass them through the machine, because of the phenomenal amount of pressure in there, and if you've not got anything in the plates other than a little die in the top, all that pressure's been applied to the plates for no reason. Yeah. So again, you know, just, and if you don't have any of the smaller machines and you've only got a large Gemini, I'm not saying don't use it, but that's where your reverse function comes in brilliantly, because you can pop your plates in, let it cut the die, and then reverse them back out again, and that saves all the rest of those plates having the pressure applied to them for no apparent reason. So what we're going to do now then is we're going to grab, I've got my little finger daubers there, and I just want the honey pot yellow, and I've got my honey pot yellow ink, and just in the centres here, I'll lean on here so that to try and avoid making a lot of mess. I want to just darken that central area. Now we're going to cover up the very middle bit with the centre of the flower, but just to give some depth at the bottom of those petals rather than it being plain colour. And again, this is all optional. You don't have to do this. It's just sort of thinking about what those flowers would look like in real life. And there is usually a bit of concentration of colour near the bottom of the petals, near the centre of the flower. So nice and quick there with that one. And then I've got my, this is actually my, I don't know where I got this from. I've had it years and years and years, but I use this for shaping my flowers on. So what I'm going to do is turn them over, and then I'm going to use one of the ball tools that comes with the flower forming kits.
Yes, we do have that today.
And all I'm going to do is stroke this along the back. And can you see how it's curling those petals already? Yeah. So all I've done is just dragged it down the back of each petal, like so.
The flower forming tool is currently at the bottom of your screen. As you can see, it is discounted today, and you can use it for foam flowers, but also, as you can see here, with your paper and card.
It just gives them a little bit more interest than them. Now, sometimes we need to keep them flat. If you're posting a card and you want everything to be flat, that's fine. But just doing it this way creates a little bit more interest. So you can see how they're sort of domed now.
Yes.
And then what I'm going to do is go back into the centres now and actually go around that central part here on all 3 of them. And again, you know, if you find that the larger ones need that different size ball tool there, and all I'm doing is just applying pressure, and the mat's slightly soft, so it's allowing that shaping to take place there. And then if I can show you that dimension now, if I pop that on the back of my hand now, you can just see how we've got that sort of little shaped petals on it.
So realistic.
And then we're going to stick it together. So I'm literally going to take a little bit of glue, and I've done 3 of these. I've done 2 of the large ones and one of the smaller ones. And we're literally just going to pop one on top of the other, and just slightly offset those petals so that it's not laid right over the top, because you want it to look nice and full. And then I tend to go back in with that ball tool there and secure it, and then we're going to pop another little bit of glue, and I do prefer the wet glue for this, although my bottle's misbehaving. I don't know what's going off, and I've got glue now where I don't want it. Shocking. It's a good job it dries clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. And then literally we're going to pop the smaller one over the top there, and again just offset it slightly, and then really press it into your foam mat. If you don't have one of these, you can use, if you've got a mouse mat that you use at your computer, turn it over and the back of it's spongy, or even just a few layers of kitchen paper would do the trick if you don't have a flower shaping mat. But then again, when you see all that dimension, you can just see how you get something that does start and look quite realistic, rather than just a flat piece of cardstock. Now, I didn't bring any extra brown card because I'd actually made one of these. Now, this one's got flattened a wee bit in my bag on the way here, but the same thing. And then you also get on your die set, if you just want a flat middle, I actually cut both of them and layered them up again just to give that dimension. But you can see there how you've got a really realistic little sunflower. I just think they're gorgeous. And we've also put a set of flower forming foam in there, so you can do exactly the same thing with the foam. So if you've got your iron at the ready, just to heat it and shape it. So you've got an option there to do paper or the actual foam itself. So as far as the card's concerned, excuse me, certain...
You okay? Do you need a drink?
We're okay. It just creeps up on me every now and again. So just matting and layering with that cardstock from the pack, and I've got myself that DL version card, as I say, that we're going to do landscape. So that's my matte layer. Then we're going to pop on the layer that we had the colours on. So again, and don't worry if this happens, this is normal with alcoholic colouring. That's why we always recommend that you put a piece of scrap card underneath when you're colouring, because it should bleed through the card like that, so don't worry too much. So we're going to have, I think, the 2 at the top and 3 at the bottom there. So that's just going to leave a little bit of that yellow showing round the edge. Okay, and then on the piece that I showed you earlier, I've got a layer of brown and a layer of that yellow. And again, I've just stamped from one of the stamp sets. That's in the same one as the half flower, the sun-kissed wishes, straight onto the card, and added a few pearls on there. And this is that finger lift tape that we were talking about. So the edge of it here isn't attached to the actual sticky bit, so you can just get to it to peel it off. And that, honestly, it was like, prior to this, I was using the one that the sticky went all the way to the edges.
Yeah.
I know you used to have a terrible time with it.
Lillian actually had a question about the finger lift tape, wondering, is it tricky to line up to the edges?
If you want it, I don't worry too much. I've actually lined the edge of the tape up with the edge of my piece of card. There's about 1/8 of an inch left. If you want it right to the very edge, you can actually see a little bit through it. So it is possible to just leave that 1/8 of an inch of the carrier tape hanging over the edge and get the self-adhesive part right up to the edges. It's not too difficult to do. I don't mind that 1/8 of an inch, it's not going anywhere like that. So again, this is actually going to go over where I drew my pencil line, so don't have to worry about rubbing them out. And it's also going to conceal the edges of those stamps to make sure that everything is nice and tidy. So take that one out. And then I've just got some pieces here to decorate on the front. So I've also cut from there a couple of the leaves. You've got 2 sizes of the little sunflower leaves there. And then I've cut one of this. I quite like this little spray as well. So I've just cut that in some green, which again, there's different shades of green in that, that kit. So again, we're going to pop this one first, I think, behind there. Like so, just to give a bit of decoration at the top. Then we're going to pop those 2 in. So again, you can shape these if you wish. I'm just going to leave the leaves. I'm going to leave them flat. See what I did there? See See what I did there? Leave the leaves.
Worse than my joke. Loved it.
And then on the back of here, and this is the tacky glue, which is great for this kind of job. If not, you could use your 3D glue gel, you could use a hot glue gun, whatever you prefer. And then I'm just going to pop that one on, just as like that little extra embellishment there.
Beautiful.
Just hold that for a second for that tacky glue to grab. And then we'll turn you that one round. Something just a little bit different. I've not even broken into the papers in that one at all, but I just loved that half flower. That screamed out to me straight away to do that kind of design on there.
That looks great. I've literally just had a message in from Linda about the half sunflower saying, could you stamp it to make a full sunflower?
Yes. So if you literally did one half and then turn around, it might not be perfect, but what I would be tempted to do is maybe die cut those centres and pop them in the middle.
Cool.
And it would actually cover up where the join was.
Great.
Yeah, but flowers aren't perfect in nature.
That's true.
You know, so if it doesn't line up exactly, it's not the end of the world, yeah.
Love that. Thank you for that question, Linda. If you would like to make that card, then let me just remind you of everything you're getting within here, because let me tell you, there's absolutely oodles. I've got double-sided 12 by 12 paper pad with so many different designs, all completely individual, with a beautiful smile-inducing colour scheme, which is mimicked throughout the likes of my vellum that I've got for you, my 6x6 and much more. As well as that, I'm bringing to you dies. I am bringing to you stamps and sentiment dies. I'm bringing the fabulous flowers. These are some of the ones that Jan's just worked with them. I've got your border for you, which would be excellent for paper piecing or for frames. It would be really pretty. Bringing to you some of the sentiments. Again, this is the one at the bottom corner there that Jan herself used. I've got you your layering stamps here. So simply by using them in order, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it literally has the numbers on there for you. You can create this even if you're new. I've got for you your layerers to create, again, that dimensional effect and to give you those mix of colours. I've got the 6x6. I've got for you the vellum sheets as well. Then at 24 in these, just to let you know. Also, I'm bringing to you 250 GSM of the linen, and I've got for you the foam itself. So the technique that lovely Jan's just done there, you know, we had the flower forming tools. Use it with these and it's just going to be in foam, so it's going to look great. Lots of love coming in, of course, for Jan's wonderful card. We are going to be doing the vote in mere minutes, but before that, let me remind you, it is summer season today, and the summer season discount means that if you head online, you could get things like this, or like this, or like this, etc. for up to 75% off. But I will be totally honest with you, some of the 75% off treats that we have are so limited in stock now that it might literally be some of them we have like one left of. So I would genuinely say, take a moment or two, head on over to our website, see what you've got your eyes on, check it out of your basket whilst you can. And whilst you do that, have a little look at this.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet. The neighbours.
I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing. I'm not singing.
Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. Make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day. Quick Buy. All your crafting must-haves in a flash. Make light work of intricate and delicate die-cutting designs with the Pokey Tool from Crafter's Companion. An absolute essential part of any paper crafter's kit, its precise tip has been designed to release the tiniest pieces to reveal your finished results with absolute precision. And to make sure your finished project is perfect, each Pokey Tool has a rubber tip protector, so there's no risk of damaging your die-cutting design or yourself. The Crafter's Companion Pokey Tool is such an essential craft item, we've included 2 in each set. Quick Buy. Get yours now.
Welcome back to Crafters TV. Thanks for joining me. I'm Becky and we have been inspired by Jan's Makes today. It's now time to hand over the responsibility to you. Feel the pressure. We need you to get voting so that we can vote on Jan's card of the show. Remind us what we've made, Jan.
Right, so right at the top of the show then, first thing, we worked with that gorgeous Dancing Dragonflies collection, which we've got coming up later for the craft along, so I hope you can join us then. But we just made a little fold back using that gorgeous water lily border, and then we made our flowers and just using elements of the paper and the cardstock in there. So that's number 1 from the dragonflies. Number 2, we went to those beautiful flowers in those gorgeous creator card elements, and we used the dahlia there. All right, so that's number 2. And then number 3 were those lovely little sunflowers that we've just played with, colouring in there and then adding that nice little die cut flower just as an embellishment at the side. So that's number 3 this morning.
I love it. Do you know what? It is going to be close call today because we've got lovely Nicola in with us going, I'm going for number 2. Number 2 is my favourite. Number 2, number 2, number 2. Erin's going, actually, number 3 is my favourite. It's definitely number 3. Definitely
I wouldn't
number
want to
3.
choose. Wouldn't want to choose.
So it's a tricky one to choose. I'm going to be different and go, I'm going number 1 because that's my colour palette. That is my colour palette. I'm going number 1. I love the richness of it.
Those colours are lovely in that collection, aren't they? Yeah.
Totally beautiful. But it's not up to us. It's up to you. So get voting on our socials and we'll announce the winner shortly. Before that, I will let you know that we have got something really special for you. It is our Explorer Treat of the Week. And what I'm bringing to you today is all about our sparkle pens. Now, if you're brand new to us, let me just show you what these packets look like. You're going to get a packet like this. They are our wonderful sparkle pens. Now, you'll see each one of them has a colour upon them, and each of the colour has a wonderful representation. And then the magic with these is that they naturally sparkle. So if you keep your eyes across these, you'll be able to see the layers of glitter that come into them. And the fabulous thing with them is there's so much that you can do with them. So for example, this is with our sparkle pens. Can you see the sparkle happening on there? It almost looks kind of holographic, doesn't it? But it's actually just the sparkle. So the colour comes from the pens, the sparkle comes from the pens. And this is basically just like a bleaching technique. We don't use bleach, you use water, but you can do this with the pens. With the exact same pens, you can also create designs like this, where you're going to get that watermark stamping effect. But it, again, is just using a stamp and the pens. But you can also use them with embossing. So you can create textured details and designs. And again, this is sparkling sensational. I'll be honest with you, because I know that a lot of people don't maybe hang around in sort of TV studios that have so many lights in them. So just to let you know at home, these are so sparkly here in the studio. It's just the lights in here are so bold, it might be tricky for you to see. My advice, get them home to see how beautiful these are in real life, especially today when to get all of those pens, 15 in total, and to be able to have a play and to get the watercolour card, which of course to create effects like this you're definitely going to want to use, today you're getting your discount deal, so it's the perfect time to test it out for yourself. Seize the moment on these ones to add sparkle, colour and light. We have got all of these beautiful colours today, just $54.99 or $70.99. And there's so much that you can do with this, isn't there, Jan?
Literally only to skim the surface really here. We have done shows in the past where we've gone into much more detail, probably on the Colour Me Happy shows where you'll get a lot more techniques, but I'm just going to show you a couple of basics with them. I've gone for those sort of primary shades here. So in this one we've got aquamarine, pink garnet and firefly. So you've essentially got your red, yellow and blue there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of them. And if you haven't seen these before, these are actually sort of liquid ink in a pen form. So when they come to you new, you will actually have a little tiny ring that separates the bottom half of the barrel from the lid. And that is because the bottom's sealed when they're new. So when you first get them, you'll need to undo the lid, take that part off, ooh, she says. There we go. And remove the ring and then screw it back together. And what it'll do, there's an element in here that will puncture the barrel and it makes it allow that ink to flow. And then the nib will be white when you first get them. So don't think they're faulty. It's just that obviously all that ink was held in here. So first job, once you've got that ready, pop your lid back on and give them a really good shake, because you've got glitter suspended in that water suspension, and the glitter's heavier than the water, so when they're laid down the glitter will settle either in the bottom, or if you've got them upright it'll go into the bottom of the pen. So a really good shake with them before you sort of use them for the first time. Get that glitter moving, and if you could see through the barrel you'd see it all swirling about in there. And then when they're new, like I said, that end of the brush is white. So it's literally just a case of squeezing the barrel here. It says push on it. Just give it a little squeeze, drag it backwards and forwards, and you'll see the ink start to come down. It's like a capillary action into here, and then it'll start and thread through to your nib. You've got a beautiful brush nib on there. Now you could use these just for colouring. So for example, like we did those earlier and did those sunflowers, you might want to just colour in with the pen. Now I'm not going to do it on this one because I don't have the right ink. It's going to smudge the ink on this one. You'd use a waterproof ink, but you could colour in with them and just add some sparkle to your colouring as it's sort of a base level. But we can also do lots of techniques onto paper as well. Now I've got the watercolour paper. This is actually made to withstand layers of water. So I'm just going to grab, I've got water in my spritzer bottle here, and I've also got some in a paint pot, and we'll use a little bit of both. So the first thing I'm going to do is just spritz gently onto my cardstock. So I'm not saturating it, but I do want it to be wet. And then I'm going to start with a little bit of the yellow here, just give it a squeeze to get it moving, and then drop that yellow into that water. And you can see it moving about already. So just drag that so far down, and then I'm also going to bring in that lovely red one as well. So again, just a little bit of a squeeze. I knew one of them was had got some ink on it because I've just seen it in the package, and now I've got it on me. Here we go. So again, into a little bit lower down. Just squeeze it until that comes through. There we go. Beautiful. And I can actually see the glitter dancing in it already. And then what I'm going to do with my paintbrush, I've got a nice large paintbrush, pop it in the water. Okay, and then I'm just going to start and blend the two. So we've got the red one sort of blended out a wee bit. Just take off the bulk of the red, blend the yellow one, and then we can actually drag them together to make an orange layer in the middle. So the colours will actually blend together. You can see the more of that red that I take up here, we're actually creating that lovely orange layer. Now, I've not actually got any kitchen paper at the side of me, but normally I would just take off any excess. So I'm just going to blot it with another piece of card there. Now, while it's wet, you can actually flick your water at it, which gives that effect that you were just looking at, Becky. So again, I'm just going to use a slightly smaller brush now. Let me just grab one from underneath there. While it's wet, you'll get a different effect to when it's dry. So if I actually splatter the water on the wet ink now, it'll start and play with the ink and it moves it about on your cardstock. And this is why it's important to have that watercolour card. So I don't know whether we can actually cut, oh, you can see it there, can't you? Nicola's on it already, look. Can you see how it's moving the ink about there? And you get that kind of starburst effect while the coloured ink's still wet. If you let your coloured ink dry, either on its own or with the help of a heat tool, and then splash it, you'll get more of like a little circle. So it's weird how it behaves differently. Have a go with both and see which you prefer. But once this has actually settled and it's gone as far as you want it to go, I would blot it then with some kitchen paper. As I say, I've not got any to my side. I think it's possibly in the other studio. But just by blotting it will actually stop that, you still get a really nice effect here as well.
Lovely.
You can see the texture of the cardstock in that one.
Yeah.
But once this is dry then, we'll come back to it when it's totally dry and you'll be able to see that beautiful sparkle in there. So just while that's drying, I'm just going to show you another one with the same pens. So let's have a look at the blue one this time, the aquamarine. So again, a shake. And this time I'm not going to wet the cardstock first. What I'm going to do is just drop a couple of little bits. So I'm just squeezing that barrel here where it says push and you'll see the ink start to move and eventually it'll drip out of here. So I just want a few little drops on there like so. So that's just going to sit there and do very little until I do something else with it. So this time I'm going to take my spritzer bottle. Look at the state of me now. That pink one is leaking somewhere, I think. I think the ink's accumulated in the lid. So again now I'm going to direct this at those spots and just look how it behaves. So again, you can start, I've not got my heat tool plugged in, but I would actually start and dry this then at that point. Let me just plug it in so that I can show you what I mean. I will just be really quick down there with the plug. Here we go. And then just literally start and add some heat to it. Becky's doing the sound effects for me. It is on.
Yeah.
The guys are always like, Jan, you've not turned it on.
The quietest heat
I
tool.
challenge anybody to come and put their hand under it and see whether it's on. But you can see there now how that sparkle's starting to emerge. And the reason I've dried it is because I want to add one of the other colours into the mix. So again, just dab that off the edge there. And what we'll do, I'm going to go for the yellow and avoid the pink one for a second. So again, just push. Our producer Erin's just saying, oh, she's avoiding the pink one. So again, just in the gaps there.
Pretty.
Now, if you wanted the colours to mix, you could have done this before it dried, but I want to actually get the yellow in there as well as the blue. If you'd have done it all while it was wet, you'd probably start and see some green in there as well. So again, you can see there, then once you're happy with it, apply your heat so that it stops moving. But this is how you can make those really pretty backgrounds. Absolutely gorgeous. And I love playing around with stuff like this. And then you can stamp over the top of these. You could die cut. Imagine doing something like this and then die cutting one of those flowers out of it to make your creator card. The recipient would be, how on earth has she got all those different colours onto that one piece of die cut? It's sort of fascinating how it works. Now what I'm going to do now is just try and tilt this so that you can see, because I can see that sparkle now. Some of it's still a little bit wet. I'm just going to take that excess water off. But again, just look at that shimmer
That sparkle.
in there. Even applying water to it, and then this one that we did earlier, you can see again, just look at that beautiful
Oh yeah, you can see
shimmer.
it there at the ends, yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. So as I say, this could be the background, you know, if you've got silhouette stamps and things like that, they look nice. Flower dies over the top of here. Die cut flowers look terrific out of such of the backgrounds, things like that. Die cut sentiments, so many different ways to do them. As I say, sometimes I'll just have a batch making afternoon where I do this and then I just cut them down to a size that I'd work with, keep them all in a basket, and you've got ready-made backgrounds good to go for whatever your next project's going to be.
You can, with 15 colours, have hours and hours, and surely, like, not literally endless, but nearly endless possibilities with colour changing and mixing.
So yeah, you've got all the mixing aspect, you know, so anything that's water-based will play with each other. So the minute you start mixing colours, so for example, if you've got a dark shade in there, you can take all your colours that wee bit darker. If you're going to do that, you want the tiniest little bit of dark into it, and you can take them a darker shade. Mixing those primary colours, that's why I picked that set with the brights in, because you're going to get sort of 3 extra colours there with those 3 primary colours. Turn them into 6 straight away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really clever to play with. And then you've got the clear ones available as well, and those are great for going over the top of other things. So you can use them over the top of the alcohol markers. Just be aware of that stamping ink. If you know that you're going to use a watercolour medium in conjunction with an alcohol marker, I would emboss my line art, and then it isn't going anywhere. You don't have to worry about it moving. Yeah, beautiful.
It's just wonderful. You're going to have so much fun with them, and a great discount for you today as well. We've had the winner through.
Ooh.
Who do you think it is?
I wouldn't like to guess. I wouldn't.
It's number 3, the
Number
sunflowers.
3, the sunflowers, bringing a smile to everybody's face there.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, guys. Let me move all this rubbish out the way there.
Oh, thank you for creating that for us. It's gorgeous, isn't it? So that one is for our show. Do not forget, though, that is not all we've got coming up for today. I've got Craft Along up for you as our next show. It is 2 p.m. UK. Oh, this is the make. This is the make that we are going to be creating in our Craft Along. And am I right? Have we got someone to... Is it Betsy we've got with us today? I have a feeling it is.
Ooh,
and if I am right, and it is
fantastic.
today that I've read, then it's the first time. I'm almost positive. That's really exciting. If you do want to treat yourself, and you do want to craft along with us, because maybe someone messaged in a while ago saying, I'm working from home today, but I've already finished all of my work, so may as well just sit in and watch CTV. Why don't you get your crafting bits out? Everything on your screen that you are seeing now, including the likes of your 12 by 12 textured cardstock and your vellums. Well, we'll be back in an hour. As well as that, I've got the launch party for you, where we're going to be bringing to you another one of our fantastic boxes. We're on box number 49 already. And we're going to be bringing to you the premium launch, which a preview of the launch that's coming up around June. So that's coming up for you really, really soon. So all of that is to come. Craft Along is in 1 hour. So if I were you, I'd start to set my alarm just as a little reminder when Jan will be back with us. Also, don't forget, we have got that discount sale on our site right now. So it is well worth you heading on over to our webpage and have a look for up to 75% off. We'll see you in an hour, my loves. Bye-bye.